Alright, welcome to this new video on collecting vintage video games. This video is going to be about the second type of video game store I had mentioned in a previous video, the video game store type B. These are the video game stores that have that deal exclusively in, older video game consoles and older video games themselves. Okay, this video is in addition to the previous video on that topic. Okay, this video is going to be on how to deal with those retro video game stores and how to actually beat them at their own game. Okay, it is possible, and I am going to show you how to do it right here. Okay, there are certain things that need to happen and that you need to be doing in order to make that happen. Okay, the first is that you need to be able to find or be near a video game store, a retro video game store that has the types of games you're looking for. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PS1, PS2, whatever specifically you're looking for, and whatever specific games you might be looking for, you need to be able to have access to a retro video game store that has those. Okay. Second, that retro video game store has to have an option for in-store credit. Okay, which basically means if you bring in a bunch of old video games, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, whatever, any of your old video games, they will look at them, determine what the value of them is, and give you an appropriate amount of quote-unquote in-store credit. Okay, that's extremely important. Now the store that I'm dealing with right now typically does in-store credit of either half the fair value of the game or the fair value of the game, depending on who's working there at that time. Okay, so it's extremely important that that option be there. Third, you need to be doing yard sales, garage sales, flea markets, pawn stores, all kinds of things like that. Okay, you need to be finding these old video games, and if possible, try to get them complete in box for like PS1 or PS2 games, things like that. And if you can get them for 50 cents or $1.50, then you're exactly where you want to be with this. Okay, because that's the kind of price you need to be paying for these. Now, usually you're going to find complete in boxes on things like PS2 games because those are usually the most abundant right now. So pick up a lot of these games from yard sales, flea markets for basically nothing, 50 cents or $1. And if it's a PS1 or PS2 game, pick it up for that, and hopefully it'll be complete in box. It'll have the insert, it'll have the manual, and the disc won't be completely trashed. Now, on a previous video I had mentioned that I picked up a huge cardboard box full of PS2 games and a PS2 console and everything for like 20 bucks. Okay. Now, when I looked at each of those games compared to the price that I actually paid for the whole set, it came out to like 50 cents a game. Okay, so each of those games basically cost me like 50 cents. But most of them were pretty shitty games, a lot of basketball, a lot of baseball, pool, wrestling, stuff like that. Okay, so what I did is I took a big handful of these games. I took 9 of them, to be specific. I took 9 of them, and I took them up to this retro video game store. And they looked through them and checked them all and stuff, and they gave me $25 worth of in-store credit. Okay. Now keep in mind, 9 of these games at 50 cents is $4.50. This group of PS2 games cost me $4.50. Okay, so let me show you what I picked up at that video game store in exchange for that in-store credit. I picked up Tales of Symphonia for the GameCube. Okay. Extremely rare, extremely popular game. A lot of value to it. Both of the discs are in really nice condition. The manual's almost mint. So, basically what I'm saying here is that those games I traded in cost me $4.50. So I picked up a really nice complete copy of Tales of Symphonia for $4.50. Pretty good deal. Now, you can do this with other things too. For example, if you pick up some really cheap Nintendo games, you can do it with them also. I had mentioned in a previous video that I picked up a Castlevania 3 and a Kirby's Adventure, both for $1.50 each. Now, I grabbed both of those and a couple of my worthless Nintendo games. I think Pool and Pictionary or something like that, something stupid. 2 or 3 worthless games, Castlevania 3, and Kirby's Adventure. And I took it up to that video game store for in-store credit. And when they got done checking the 3 worthless games, the Kirby's Adventure and the Castlevania 3, all together they gave me $25 worth of in-store credit again. Okay, so when I went through the store looking for important and good good games that I was wanting, I found a couple. So those set of Nintendo games probably cost me altogether about $4.50, $5.50, something like that. So in exchange for that $25 in-store credit, I picked up Thunderstrike 2 for the PlayStation 1. Really nice shooter game. It's complete. Looks almost brand new. It looks like it just came off of a retail shelf, so it's absolutely brand spanking new. The disc doesn't even look like it's ever been played before. So, and I also got Kingdom Hearts 2 for the PlayStation 2. This one is in really nice condition. It has the disc and it has the manual. And finally, I picked up Mega Man Anniversary Collection for the PS2. Disc is really nice condition, and I've been wanting to pick this up for a while. So, for these 3 games, 2 PS2 games, and a really nice PS1 game, cost me $4.50 roughly. So, that's how you do it.